Yo, yo. Okay. Old Guy in a Drone is live. There we go. Yeah. I think I just heard voices on. I just think I heard my voice on the stream. I heard my yo-yo when I first came in. I just heard it echo on the stream. Yeah.
Hey, good morning, everybody. How are you? How was that? Pretty professional? I hope everything's working, and I hope the microphone's working and you can all hear me.
Not bad, not bad.
Oh, okay. Well, Hugh is sitting in the background and just chimed in, and you can't see him. And I've got him as a guest today, and I figured that it's very hard to keep everybody just entertained sitting here talking about myself, and I really would rather be talking about you guys. So I think I'm going to try to have a co-host on every show that I do, and hope that makes it a little more entertaining. So without further ado, we will bring in Hugh. You all know Hugh, Asgard Studios, and just everybody say hello to Hugh. Hello, Hugh. Talk to me.
Hello, Hugh. I mean, hello, Mitch.
You're on,
Whoops.
man. You're on. Here,
What's up, guys? Good morning.
I've been doing everything on cue here, and you're asleep at the switch on me.
Oh, man, I'm telling you.
Okay, so the first thing we
have
need
to
to
cut
find
my
out
pay.
is everything actually working here? I mean, can you hear?
That's a hell of a question to ask an old guy. Jeez, is everything working?
Can you hear?
Oh, man.
Can you hear me? Can you hear the music? Is Hugh's voice too loud? I think it might be. So let's play with this.
Oh, I'll just move my mic away.
So you all know what this is like, and we can only be so professional in this world, in this amateur world of broadcasting.
I was gonna say, yeah. Until they start paying me, I'm not acting professional. I'm going just crazy here.
Yeah. So let's see who we got here this morning. We got Asgard Studios. Drone Bum, how you doing? How you doing, my friend? And Gary Foster's in the house. Thanks for getting up early. Zero Foxes Given Off-Road. I'll have to check you out in a second. I don't recognize that name. Night Train FPV, how you doing? Good to see you. Hang in there a second, Night Train, and we'll take care of you. Okay, Drone Bum, Peter Carroll. Peter, how are you? Peter's one of the few guys that didn't have to get up early for this, at least, but he stayed up late. You're what is it, 11:30 at night there, Peter? Steve Miller, good morning. How are you? And Night Train FPV says we hear no music. I'm not playing any music right now. I can give you music.
So that's a good thing, right? If you were hearing music, it'd be a problem.
And let's see who else is here. Let me take a look at this Zero Foxes and see what.
Sorry, Night Train. You're right. I am loud. That's just my nature.
Wow, Zero Foxes got a lot of. I'll have to check you out later, my friend. I can't do it right now, but you got a looks like a big channel with a lot of subscribers. Thanks for stopping by. So Hugh, that little adventure you had yesterday.
Oh, we're going to talk about RC Lager.
Yes, yes, we are. Yes, we are.
Oh, I'll bring him out. I'm kind of sad. Here's RC Lager.
I'm still trying to figure out why it is that the propeller fell off. I've never had that happen on it.
Well, so I think I figured it out. I was talking to PD Tech, who was the guy that actually introduced me to this machine, and apparently there are these little nuts on top, which, of course, there's always some method to secure the props, right? Anyway, these are hand-screwed, hand-tightened, and they've got a little rubber washer. So I think during the pre-flight, I didn't tighten up the nut quite as tight as it needed to be, and the prop came off, because I'm missing... This is where the prop came off. I'm actually missing a nut on there. So that's what I suspect happened. Otherwise, this thing actually survived pretty well. I've got 3 broken props, but otherwise this is just out of the motor mounting. I think I can just remount this. But it was sure spectacular to see it go down, and sad.
It looked to me like some pieces actually broke off the thing.
Yeah, well, what I saw happen, and what I saw on the GoPro was this propeller just came off, and the RC Lager dropped right to the ground. And I was on hard-packed snow, and so it hit pretty hard. But I'm shocked. This thing seems pretty resilient. It's pretty bendy. And other than the props and the motor out of the mount, it looks like it might have survived.
So you think that, wow. Well, that's good, because you seemed a little despondent yesterday. You seemed like you were...
oh, that was the idea. I was kind of playing it up.
A little bit unhappy.
I only paid $50 for that thing, by the way. So I thought that was a pretty good deal.
Well, I got smart this morning. And decided that...
Oh, you bring your pot of coffee.
Yes, I give you that, that sound there.
Can you reach through and fill my cup up for me here, please?
I can
Mitch, come on.
I can do that for you.
Awesome.
Hey, now, isn't that
awesome.
cool? Isn't that cool? Look at the green.
Oh.
Look at the green on the cup with the green screen.
Look at that.
I got a closet full of green shirts.
I bet you do.
And I can't wear them on this stupid thing because you'd be able to see the brick wall through it.
Well, imagine me. I wear a lot of blue because of Asgard Studios, and then some reason I thought it was a good idea to buy a blue screen instead of the green screen. Anyway, I've got a green screen too, thankfully.
So I don't see anything happening in the chat. Is the chat working?
Yeah, I think it's okay. Is my audio okay now? I'm not too loud?
It's hard for me to tell because I'm getting your audio through my headphones.
Right. Gary.
Direct. So
Gary accused me of being loud. Mr. Foster, am I a little less loud?
Well, I can turn it down a little bit. Let's try that. That's part of what we have to figure out here with this. I didn't know how to whether I could actually adjust the levels in the Skype window that I've got here. And,
I try to keep myself at -6 dB. It seems to be a good because I do have a loud voice. I've got a.
Oh, wait a minute! I do have a separate volume for Skype here. Okay, cool. All right, so
I probably do too.
No, I mean on the OBS window.
Yeah.
So let's see. Okay, everybody. Somebody. Hugh is loud. Mitch is low. Mitch is low. Okay, so let me turn me up here a little bit and see if that makes it any better. Okay, I've increased my mic volume and I turned Hugh's volume down. So say something, Hugh.
Good morning, Mitch. Good morning, everybody. I hope I'm not too loud.
We'll turn this into a troubleshooting deal, and we'll get it right one of these days.
Yeah,
At any
sure
rate,
will.
I want you guys to see what I'm dealing with here, if you haven't already seen it. So this is what all this looks like from the rear, and it is a little overwhelming for one guy, but what did Gary say? Hugh is loud or Mitch is very quiet. Hugh is loud, Mitch is low. Drone bump. Okay. So what I need to do is I need to bump up my mic volume, evidently.
Hey, how's it now? I can turn down my microphone gain. I turned it down to 5 out of 10.
Well,
is that any better, guys?
You're still throwing my little VU meters here into the red, and I seem to be okay. So I don't know. I can turn my mic volume up still more. Okay, guys, how's that? Is that any better? Hey, Drone Bum, thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. It says here, I need more volume. Maybe I just need to get closer to the microphone. Bear with me. Bear with me.
I try like with a paper clip and paper clip your lip to it and see if that works. Get real close.
Well, I'm trying to turn you down. Let me get back off. Let me get back to this scene here where I can adjust these things, and I keep turning your volume down, Hugh, and we're gonna keep it in the yellow for top end. Night Train said, "Yeah, I'm already in the yellow on my microphone." So we're just bear with us. I apologize, but this is all new to me, and it's just we want it to be right.
Hey, Drone Bum, thanks for my the compliment on my fur face. I appreciate that. I've been oiling my beard. What can I say? Got more hair on my face than I do on my head, which is by design, I guess.
All right, Hugh, boy, you're still blasting away. I turned it down a little more for you, so that hopefully that's better.
Is it any better?
Night Train got the switcher going and all. Yeah, God bless it. All right, say something, Hugh.
Say something, Hugh.
There you go.
Hi, Mitch. Good morning, Mitch.
Okay.
Hello, everybody.
Well, hopefully that's better. I mean, it sounds pretty balanced in my headphones, but without the
I crashed my RC logger yesterday. Very sad. Very sad. No, I was being dramatic in that video just for fun, just for kicks, When I crash a drone now, my wife said, "Oh, you must be very upset," and I said, it happens. I fly drones almost every day, right? So the statistics are going to be that I'm going to be crashing a lot of drones just because I do it so much.
Well, you didn't. At least you didn't demolish a $20,000 Inspire 2 with a X7 camera on it or something like that.
I'd have been crying. I'd have been crying like a little girl that somebody just stole her puppy. Yeah, that would have been bad.
All right, the guys are telling us that we got the volumes right now, so I can make a mental note of that, and I'll be good for the next time. I think that the learning curve on this stuff is a lot greater than I thought it was going to be. If you try to put on something that looks like a production instead of just sitting in front of a camera and chatting, and unfortunately with me, anytime I do anything, I always have to do it to some ridiculous extreme, and
well, you're just doing it well. That's the thing about your generation, and it's excellence was
my generation.
Well, no, you're being serious. Excellence is important, and I think it's something we all need to strive for to do as best as we can in whatever we do.
Thank you, Just Looking. I appreciate the feedback, and let's give you a wrench. Pleiadian scientist UFO builder is with us, and you see him up there. I first saw him last night. It was in Poose's chat room, I think, and thank you so much. Thank you so much for showing up here. I appreciate the support for my brand new fledgling little morning live stream here.
Sorry, that was my dog.
Yeah, it wasn't my dog.
Yeah. Your gorilla's very quiet.
Oh, I don't have the I haven't. Gorilla's still sleeping. Kind of like Kim, doesn't get up until well after the thing is started.
Good morning.
So what else is new, Hugh?
Not too much. I've just been trying to figure out new videos to make, new drone videos. I'm thinking the Tello is going to be my focus.
Really?
For a little while.
Really? One of these little things.
People seem to like it.
Yeah, well, mine is still plain and white. None. I haven't fancied it up yet, and I don't think I'm going to take these prop guards off of it because too many people are banging them into things. Does it really make a big difference when you fly it without the prop guards?
Hey, quiet down. So the reason I did it is because where I live, my loft has. Sorry, guys. She's a puppy.
Hey, it wouldn't be a live stream without animals,
Yeah, really. We got muffin can over there. So the prop guards, yeah, I mean, they're dangerous if you're near trees because they can get you hung up. Whereas if you just have the props, they might fall out. So my need for taking the props off not only is a weight thing, but it's also an entanglement thing. Like if I do crash into a tree, I don't want it stuck 30 or 40 feet up where I can't get it, right? But it is 5 grams, and in an 86-gram drone, that's a fair bit of weight. It's like 6% of its weight, right?
Really? Yeah, I hadn't thought of that.
So,
I hadn't thought of that. But I fly it around in the house and with all the big screen
you know what I got
TVs and everything.
Mitch? I got this cage that goes over the top. I've ordered it anyway from China, so it should be here in the next 7 years. Anyway, it covers the whole top of the Tello so that you can fly it inside and you can bang into everything with no problems at all.
What company did you order it from?
Let me check. I think it's called PG Tech or something.
Oh,
I never heard.
PGY Tech?
That might be it.
Oh, they make a lot of stuff for the Mavics.
Oh, do they?
Yeah. I love the name of these. I love the names of these Chinese companies. You know, Luck Bang Dong.
Oh God! Oh, tell me about it.
Good bang.
Yeah, I call them bang worse than, or no, bang bad and gear worse.
When I was
I'm sure they're fine, but once they get your money, they don't like giving it back. That's all I'll say.
When I was in the computer business, I had to go to Comdex in Vegas every year, and in some respects, I liked it because I never gambled, but I liked Vegas. It was a fun place to go, and
oh yeah.
And what was that?
It's the dog. Sorry, guys. You're going to hear random noises.
Oh, my God.
My office is my dog's bedroom, too, so.
So I used to have to go to Vegas to this Comdex show. And, of course, most of the vendors for components, which is what we dealt with, because way back in the day, we were building our own brand of IBM clone way back. I'm talking back before Dell even, and back when IBM was the only one actually building the desktop PCs, and they, you know, the 286s were $6,000, you know.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah, and
I remember.
And we were dealing in a lot of components, and we had it started out and it started out pretty strong, and we were buying things by the thousands, and I would go to and sit down in the booths with these Chinese guys in Vegas and negotiate components, motherboards, memory, things like that, and they had names that great lucky star. Incredible names that they thought maybe meant something good in English, but really sounded kind of silly, you know.
Well, the thing is, in Chinese though, those words, like, they mean they're great. I mean, they're lucky words, and they're you know, those kinds of things are very important for their business. But yeah, Western people, we just have a different view of the way those things sound. Right?
Oh yeah, and I don't know if you all remember Gold Star. Remember Gold Star?
Gold Star monitors.
You know who Gold Star became?
No.
Samsung.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Or else they became. It's been a long time ago, but they became either LG was once one of these. I think it was LG. I'm sorry. I think it was LG that was once called Gold Star. It was considered a cheap junk Korean brand of electronics, and when they started to get a little better at it, they changed their name to LG. Samsung's always been Samsung. I'm sorry, I apologize about that. Hey, let's take a look at the chat. I have the chat off to the side of me, so when I turn this way, that means I'm looking at the chat, and in order for me, with my crazy vision, to be able to read the chat, I set the resolution on the monitor to my left to be lower so the type was bigger. But if I do that on my main monitor, then I can't, I won't be able to cram as much as I need on there. So unfortunately, that's one concession I have to make to these things is I have to look to the left at the chat. And if you, I give you guys a shot at what my monitor actually looks like. This one in the center that I'm looking at right now.
Yeah, you need a radio call sign for your show. It's so your setup's so big.
I'm telling you, what I got going on here is up in the upper left-hand corner. Now, this is a 43-inch, basically very inexpensive Hitachi Roku TV that I have set in
monitor envy.
I have it set in. It only costs $300 something bucks. I set it in game mode, which takes all the TV processing out of the picture, and it just works great. And I got to tell you, for video editing, it is phenomenal and sharp, and I think a lot of guys are gone to these monitors. But this gives me the room. I've got the Skype window up there in the upper left. You can see I can get rid of the countdown timer here because I needed that for the beginning of the show. I can close that window out. This little deal down here, I'm starting to compile a list of the first names of the guys in here, so I can remember, because I don't remember names real well. So that was going to be one of the things I wanted to do today, was if we get a bunch of people in the chat, I was going to ask everybody to type in their first name so I could make a list. I like to address people by their first names instead of their handles. And then, of course, in the center here is the OBS window, where I have all that. And then this is over on the right is a checklist of things I have that I decided I have to do before we start these things. And I kind of got that idea from Asgard Drone. You know, Greg over there, I was watching him talk about his live streaming setup, and he had a checklist that was longer than NASA had to launch a space shuttle. But I have a basic checklist here. Up here in the upper right-hand corner, I have a few little raw video files of some of the drone footage I have that I can interject at any time, and I'm going to have a little section that I want to call from the cutting room floor, because it dawned on me that I have so many hours of really cool video stuff that never sees the light of day, because you make these videos and you grab a couple seconds of it here, a couple seconds of it there, and all the stuff of actually flying the drone and transitioning the drone and setting up the shots and all that. In fact, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to show you just some raw footage from the stuff that I shot out at the stadium there. And this is kind of what I'm talking about. It might get a little boring at times. It might get a little jumpy at times. You might say, you know, this guy doesn't know how to fly, and because, you know, we all do that when we fly. We're always not smooth and everything else. But when you it's amazing when you actually sit down and look at some of the footage. See, like here, I was moving it to set up for the next shot and all. But I found that it's kind of fun to watch, and I also found that when I look at some of this stuff, I say to myself, God, why didn't I put that shot in the video? Why didn't I put this shot?
That orbiting of the lights, that's really cool.
Yeah, those are great shots. And I remember trying to pull this one off where I wanted to come swing around and end up at the scoreboard, and then for some reason the turn got screwed up. More of these shots that we make come out wrong than right. But it's still fun to watch, and that area down there looks great. is on.
Well, it's so cool for us around the world to get to see where you're from and your particular landscapes and stuff, right? Because I don't have these baseball stadiums around me,
or lack thereof. Hey, Cordosa Media is in the house. Hey, how you doing, buddy? Thanks for stopping by. And let me give you a wrench here so you can be part of the. Okay, Manic Mavic is Trev. Okay, Manic Magic. All right, let me put that in
Trev?
Here. Manic Magic is Trev. Okay, and who else put their name in here? Philly. Well, we know Gary. We know Gary Foster's name is Gary.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I
was wondering.
And
I was calling him John.
Daddy 13 is in the house. How are you, my friend? Good to see you stop by. I'm still waiting for Roger to chime in here, but maybe it's still still too early. Drone Pool, good morning. And Drone Pool, I think I got you. Your first name is Dan, if I'm not mistaken.
No, I call him Matthew McConaughey because I think he sounds just like Matthew McConaughey.
And we know Philly Drone Life is Michael, but I call him Mikey. I'm sorry, I like Mikey. I think a lot of people call him Mikey, and Mikey's in mourning now because he had to send his Mavic 2 back to get it fixed, which I think was a smart move.
What happened to it?
Well, he was having some problems with here. Let me get us back again here so we can see you.
I like that stadium overshot, like straight down. That's cool.
Okay, yeah. Well, I'll put that on pause, and we'll come back to that in a minute.
I'm seeing what you played 30 seconds ago, though.
Oh, are you? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. You're not watching.
You're not watching. Delay.
Okay, we make Drone Pool a mediator, and let's see. For some reason, I lost my my YouTube window. I must have clicked the wrong clicker here and shut it. So let's see if I can figure out how to open it.
So it was Kenny. My best friend's name is Kenny. That's funny.
Okay, well I'm gonna type all that stuff in here. I am. I'm going to sell information. You know, information is power, and money.
And he's checking it twice.
And
maybe thrice.
Mike Locasio came on and says his name is Mike, and Mike is new here. Well, thanks for stopping by, Mike. I appreciate it. I'm running around here like a one-armed paper hanger, and I wish I had the time to explore your channel, but I promise you that I will. And Andrew from Australia just chimed in. Isn't it like the middle of the night over there? Let's see who else is here. Philly Drone Mike. He says, "Hi, my name is Michael, and I'm a drone hack." No kidding, Mike.
I think we all are, Mike.
I know, Mike. I mean, did you see the lineup of drones that he has in his last video? He started at one end.
Who did?
Michael. And he started at one end and he just kept going one after another and each one had its own case and all the bad one after another. And this is my Phantom, and this is the Mavic Air, and this is the Mavic Pro, and this is the Mavic Zoom, and the Mavic Zoom 2, and the Mavic Pro 12, and he stopped just short of an Inspire.
I'd like a collection like that, but my wife, she puts the kibosh. I have to be careful. I get in trouble.
Well, some of these Inspires can get ridiculously expensive, don't you think?
I would take an old one with no camera just so that I could transform it, because that looks so fun. My dog agrees, apparently.
I hear. So, let me see. Okay, wow, we got 14 online here. That's incredible. I'm flattered, guys. I really appreciate it. I didn't know how many of you would come hang out with an old guy at the middle of the night like this, but
I know he had to pay me. Just kidding.
They're going to start asking how much I'm willing to pay. I'll get a lot of volunteers, which leads me to say that all you guys are welcome to come on here with me, and Gary, I know you're not camera shy. I'm working on a way to. I found a way, and I watched one of Ruland. You all know Ruland. I watched one of his videos on how to integrate Hangouts into OBS, into a window like I have Hugh in the Skype window. Is that a doggy treat?
Yeah, I'm trying to keep her quiet.
Sounded good. It make me hungry hearing all that chewing and crunching. At any rate, you can. I finally figured out that I was getting stumped at the point where when you put the URL of the Hangouts into OBS, it asked you to enter your login information, but you had a window, you had it in a screen in OBS, and you had no way to enter information into it. And then I was watching Roland's video, and he showed that, and I had no idea it was there because there's so many levels of menus in this thing, that if you right click on the thing, and there's a menu item that says interact. I said, interact, okay, that sounds like it's good. And then it opened up a little window from within OBS that you could actually type into and interact with the window. And then I could complete the Google login, which I imagine once I did it once would remember it. So I can bring an OBS window into it with a panel across the bottom like we all see over at Rogers at Canadian Drone Hub. And I think that... I don't know whether that'd be a free-for-all, but I could do like Roger does and just sit back and let everybody else do all the work. That would be
that's what they're there for.
That would be interesting. I know, yeah. I've spent hours sometimes, and
it's basically we just sit and look at Roger's face and entertain ourselves in the chat. We tease Roger, tease each other.
So who's smart? You know, Roger's got a gazillion hours now of watch time. So let me take a look here. Mike Lacasio, you're in Melbourne, Florida? I'm in Melbourne, Florida, Mike.
Ooh.
Wow. Melbourne, Florida. Are you a drone flyer, Mike? Let me go take a look at your channel. Because we might be, hey, it might be my next door neighbor. I don't know.
That's cool.
Let's see.
My dog will not stop
Mike is does computer repair. Okay, all right, cool. You know, I did a video of a neighbor, a lady that lives in my community, and I don't know if
Miss Elva.
Miss Elva, yeah.
I remember her.
And she gets out there, and honest to God, I was walking yesterday morning, and she come riding up from behind me on that three-wheeler and talked to me for a while, and then took off.
Wearing her leather jacket and her chains.
She dresses in this all red, and she's such a character. And
she is.
So I did this video where I was just walking. I had my GoPro with me because sometimes I like to do my setups for the videos I plan. You know, just walking around in the morning.
I'll be right back, Mitch. I just gotta take the dog out.
Okay, sure. It's very relaxed for me to walk and I think I get think real well and collect my thoughts, and I've gotten over being self-conscious just walking around talking to yourself and having everybody look at you like you're nuts. But Elva will be 100 in May, and she gets out every morning and rides no less than 3-4 miles on this three-wheel bicycle. And it's just amazing. So I was walking and I saw her, and I said, you know, this is just too good to pass up. And I went over and I did a little interview with her and asked her, I don't know how many of you've seen it, but I asked her if it'd be all right if I did that. And during the course of the interview, I discovered that she had a daughter in Australia that she hadn't seen in 10 years. Her daughter married an Australian fella and moved to Australia 10 years ago, and she hadn't seen her. And like most children and their parents, they tend to not keep in touch enough. And so I told Elva that, well, maybe we can get your daughter in Australia to see this video that I just made of you. And sure enough, the fellow the caretaker that Elva has that lives with her got me the email address of the daughter, and we actually got the daughter to watch the video, and I told Elva about that, and of course that she was so thrilled, and so I just yesterday she drove by me and she wanted to do something for me for how nice I've been to her, and I said I didn't know what, I don't need anything. She offered to take me to lunch, so I have a lunch date now with a 99 plus year old woman. But she's really amazing. She's got most of her faculties, and she's also an incredibly accomplished piano player, and she still plays. She still plays, so it's really amazing. Let me take a second here and catch up with the chat and rest my voice. Maybe I just give you a little bit of music to listen to while we're waiting. Oh yeah, Gary. I saw that last night. I after we all got done over there at Andrews at the Andrews, I saw Roger was on, and I'm saying, God, it's 10 o'clock, and I've got to get up early because it's a good half hour just to get everything turned on and set up for this live stream by the time you get everything opened. And so I went on there, Rogers, and sure enough, he was on, and who was it that gave him $100? $100 live stream. It was, I know, kind of having a senior moment here. But at any rate, yeah, Roger's going to, this keeps up, you're going to see him on way more often every night, at all night, pulling all-nighter like that. Well, good morning, Fly Natural. How are you? Well, Fly Natural, what's your first name? I'm trying to collect first names of people that I don't know here. Paul Murray, that's right, Jerome Poole. Paul Murray was the guy that, he's a great guy too. Very cordial to me everywhere we go when we run into each other. And so Hugh is back, and
yo, yo.
Morning to you, buddy.
Oh, coffee. We are getting a huge snowstorm up here, about, I don't know, I think 12 inches or 18 inches.
Wow.
Coming this afternoon, yeah.
Hey, Hugh, I wanted to, anyway, what was I talking about? Oh, yeah, Roosevelt, that's right. Why didn't I know that? Fly Natural is Roosevelt. Everybody knows that. I'm sorry, buddy. I
didn't know his name.
Yeah.
No, I do.
Oh, yeah,
That's
I do.
awesome.
I remember that from everybody says hi, Roosevelt.
See, my name is so easy. If you just say, hey, you.
Hey, you.
That's awfully close. And my name means from the yew tree. So, there you go.
I grew up in Philadelphia, and US 1 right through Philadelphia, where I live, was Roosevelt Boulevard.
Ooh.
So whenever I hear Roosevelt, it brings back memories of my childhood. So I've been playing with this, and just playing with it for fun, and I thought that this.
Okay. Ooh, well, it can be done. That would be complicated. Yeah. That would be pretty freaking cool, though. I'd like to see that. Interactive DNA there, Nay, that's the guy to ask. He could figure all that out. Uh-oh. When you switch scenes, maybe.
Quick. All right, I'm back. I'm sorry. That's the thing about it. I was playing with that. I was playing with that scene, and just without ever thinking of.
That was my plan, Gary. So that you'd hear me, not Mitch.
Yeah. Okay, I'm back. What I need to do is I need to go ahead and stick them. I can. Let me just try this to make sure it works. So I'm going to go ahead and put in here this, and I'm going to do this, and that doesn't mean anything to you guys. But now, if I switch back to that scene, you should be able to hear me now. Okay, so we'll just do that for a second and then switch back. But
he's talking about all these moves. I'm waiting for him to break dance or bust out some kung fu moves or something.
Oh man, it's all in the wrist here, man. It's all in the wrist. It's all mouse. It's all mouse. Mr. Crowley and his drone. Good morning, sir. Welcome. Glad
Mr. Crowley, how you doing, buddy?
Glad you found us. And Jerry Calvary is in the house too. Wow,
What's up, Jerry?
wow, all the guys, man. I'll tell you what, guys. Lately, I haven't been at this all that long, and I haven't known many of you for more than a month or so. But damn, if you don't make me feel like I'm just part of a big family, and that really means. But it means a lot because it's I'm a single guy. I live by myself. I have nothing in common with any of my neighbors. And I've been a loner so long that it just feels great to get accepted into this community. And I haven't really been active in RC flying for a lot of years. We all have in life. We have our tragedies and our big losses, and I had that, yep, unfortunately, and I lived through it. But for a lot of years, I wasn't doing so good, and when you're not doing so well, you lose interest in everything that used to interest you, and especially things that cost a friggin' fortune, like, yep, the model jets and things that I used to fly. And it's been a long road back to getting involved again and enjoying being with people and enjoying in organizations. But that was the thing about the RC community that I just made it such a great hobby, and the FPV guys and us drone guys, the guys, maybe not the photography guys as much, because we don't sit in the workshop and build our drones and solder and do all that kind of stuff. But the aspects of RC that made it such a great hobby for me.
I like my photography drones.
Well, me too. There were three things to the hobby that made it a tremendous hobby. Number one, it was a craft. And yep, it was a craft, and we all had the garage with the big workbench and all the tools and the paint booths, and it was a craft. And we built these fabulous model airplanes, and we were proud of our handiwork and of what we built. The second thing it was a sport, the sport of flying the model airplanes. Going out to we had a local club, and going out to the flying field and enjoying the outdoors and looking at everybody else's airplanes and sitting and spending the whole day. And in the case of the model jets that I flew, we had the jet meets, where there was about 6 or 8 of them a year I went to, and you had a big trailer with a workbench in it and shelves for all the airplanes, and we drive 1,000 miles. I drive all up into Illinois and up into Tennessee, and we'd take over one of these small municipal airports for a week. And I put a video on my website from one that we did here in Georgia called Jets Over the Swamp, and I took a lot of video there and put that video. If you haven't seen it, it's terrific. It's tremendous pilots and fantastic airplanes and technology, and these things 250 miles an hour. One of them we had radar guns. One of them we clocked at 275 miles an hour coming out of a split S downwind down the runway. But that was the second aspect of the hobby was the sport of it, the sport and even the competition. And I don't like to compete. I used to compete in business all the time. So when it came to my hobbies, I tried to find something where I didn't have to compete and prove anything to anybody. But
you did anyway.
Yeah, I got coerced into it. One of the premier manufacturers of the model jet community was a guy named Bob Violet. And I don't know if Bob Violet Models or BVM means anything to anybody, but if you look it up, Bob was a Vietnam era A4 Navy A4 pilot.
Skyhook.
Yeah, he flew off of carriers, and he was quite a guy, and he built and flew these model airplanes. And down here in Florida, we have a competition every year.
Sorry, my dog right back.
Oh, that's okay. I'll take a second here from the story. Welcome, Anthony Benson. Welcome. Good morning. Thanks for stopping by, buddy. And Kush FPV. Thank you for stopping by, my friend. Good to see you. Who else is new in the chat that I've missed? That's about it. I'm caught up. So yeah, we have this competition every year, and it's a big deal. It's a big deal. It's called Top Gun, and it's a scale model aircraft competition, and the fact that it's scale, it encompasses everything from World War I triplanes to World War I triplanes, right on up to modern turbine-powered jets, with a great number of these things being in the World War II and Vietnam era military fighters. And it's an invitational tournament, so you got to be somebody just to be invited. And I'm okay, I'm a pretty good jet pilot, and I figured I was an average, good builder. I enjoyed what I was doing, but I was a good friend of Bob Violet's, and Bob wanted to have the largest contingent of BVM jets at Top Gun.
Ooh.
So he said to me one day, Mitch, you should fly in Top Gun. I said, Bob, I don't compete. I don't want anything to do with that crap. No, you should do it. Your airplanes are great. I said, no, I'm not going to do it. It's too much work. What am I going to do? And he talked me into it, sure enough. So at the time, I had built a MiG-15, scale model of a MiG-15, and he said, well, your MiG is good enough to. I said, Bob, you have to have the documentation and books to show the authenticity of the thing, and
holy catfish.
Yeah, it has to be. You have to actually have built the model to look like
so you got to prove how authentic
plane,
it looks,
right down to the rivet and the markings and the weathering, and I mean, this is crazy. So I went. At that time, they were having Top Gun down in West Palm Beach at the Polo Grounds, where it was a big grass field, and I went down there and I flew, and I didn't win anything or anything like that. So after that was over, he says he convinced me I should build an F-100, and he had a kit that he had put together for the F-100D, which is a Vietnam era F-100D model. It's a Vietnam era fighter. And
I remember them.
He decided, and that I should build it. So I said, okay. It took me a year to build this model airplane. I mean, I'm talking about a year of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours, and I picked a camouflage scheme for it, and it had everything. It had a turbine engine that put out about 30 something pounds of thrust. It had everything worked on it. Of course, retractable landing gear. The leading edge slats on the front of the wing actually went down. It had speed brakes on the bottom that would deploy. It had the tail hook that would lower. It had a canopy that would come up slowly and open when you were taxiing in and out. You could open up And I stopped short of the pilot waving, because some of the guys even did that. Some of the guys actually had a pilot arm in the thing that would go back and forth like this when it taxied in front of the judges.
That's commitment.
So I built this airplane, and I flew it at Top Gun for 3 years. And God, what a bunch of work! And and the best I did, which is like the highlight of my model airplane life, is I actually took 5th place in 2001 in what they call expert class, which
Nice.
was quite an honor, and I have a little trophy now. But that's my claim to RC fame, is I took 5th place at Top Gun, and any RCer will know what that means.
Well, that you built an RC jet, it just amazes me. Just that you built it.
Well, there's a lot of people. A lot of people are building jets. Unfortunately, for my joy of the jet hobby was the actual reality of the turbine engines themselves. I showed you that little turbine engine that morning when I was joking around about putting it on the television.
That. It was cool.
The reality of the sound and the smell and the speed, which you don't get now. The electric ducted fans they have to go so fast today. They really do. They're wonderful, but you just don't get the feeling. In fact, if it won't bore you guys too much, I want to show you. I'll show you something.
Let's see it. That's what we're here for.
When you go to these big tournaments, the big fly-ins, one of them in a town called Metropolis, Illinois, which is just across the river from Paducah, Kentucky, real at the southern tip of Illinois, is considered the home of Superman, because it's Metropolis, you know. And everything in that town is Superman. So they have a tournament, they have a fly-in every year up there at the airport called the Superman Tournament. And at these, this was back, you know, in the 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003, 4, you know, 15 years ago. Back then, in order to, they had a couple of companies that actually came out with some pretty nice video cameras and made videos for these different events and then offered them for sale. So you could go there and buy their videos, and they feature all the different pilots, and they do, you know, the editing, and they were all on VHS tapes back then. And I had some of these VHS tapes that I had bought from them that I happened to be on, you know, because after all, who doesn't want a tape where that they're on? So I said, so I had these VHS tapes, and now I don't even have a VHS player anymore. I have an old one in the closet, so I went out and I got one of these capture devices where I said, okay, I want to try to convert this stuff to digital because otherwise I'll lose it forever. It'll deteriorate and it'll be worthless. So I went and I captured my little section of some of these things, and the video quality is just horrible because it started out on VHS, but you can still get to see it. And and just so I could have it and my kids could see it, I put together this little clip of 3 different appearances of mine. One of them at the Top Gun where I actually placed, and it's I don't know, it's 8 minutes long, and if it won't bore you, I'll play it, and you guys can see now. You know, my last name is in there, so you guys will get to know who I am. So, you know, don't send anybody after me, please. So let's see. Let's get this going here.
I thought you were Neil Armstrong. Wait, am I on the wrong live stream?
Yeah.
Oh, crap.
Yeah.
This guy's name is Mitch? Oh, shoot.
Okay, let me get this thing going here.
Gotta work on my Google skills.
And
man.
don't talk, Hugh, because you'll talk over it.
Oh.
Hi, I'm Mitch Weiss from Orlando, Florida. The
Muting.
airplane is one of Bob Violet's new Bobcats. This is the XL version, which is the stretched version, a little bigger fuselage and a little larger engine. It's got an AMT Mercury on it, putting out 17 pounds of thrust. I flew it yesterday for the first time, and I got to tell you, it's one of the most fun turbines that I've ever flown. It's got a lot of wing area, flies very docile, flies very slow, but when you put the power to it, it goes kind of like a bandit. So I'm really looking forward to having a lot of good times with this airplane.
But it is what it is. Now, unfortunately, these things are very hard to land. And I'm not really proud of any of the 3 landings that they happen to capture. Of course, that's the way it goes whenever you're being recorded for posterity. That's when. So, little bouncy landings, which, but it is what it is. Now, this jet here.
Yeah, we have to have a scroll. Now you talk about scroll, right?
This jet here was a sport jet. It was not meant to be scale or anything like that. But it was basically just for fun. The next 2 that you're going to see were basically built, not for competition, but they're built to look like a real airplane.
Hi, I'm Mitch Weiss from Orlando, Florida, and just trying to calm down here from the maiden flight of my new L-1011. This model is a PCM L-1011. Just like I said, just put the maiden flight on it today. It's powered by a AMT Mercury engine. Seems to fly very well, very docile, and I'm very pleased with it. Used JR 10X radio and Robart landing gear. Everything worked fine. The paint job is British Caledonian, which is a charter service that's owned by British Airways.
Now, this was the engines on the wings of this airplane were actually dummies. It had 1 engine in the back of the fuselage that powered the thing. But that sound right there cost me a fortune.
I hope you enjoyed the video. You're going to see some exciting airplanes, and you're going to see some great close-up detail shots, so pay attention.
I'm here with Mitch Weiss. I'm Scott Stauffer with SKS Video and Prop Wash Video Productions, this year's Top Gun. Mitch, this is a very nice F-100. Tell us a little bit about it.
Sure, thank you. This is a Vietnam camo F-100 during the Vietnam era. The kit is from Bob Violet Models. It's all fiberglass and composite. It's got an AMT USA AT280 SP engine, turbine engine that turns about 32 pounds of thrust. Canopy operates, the leading edge slats operate, flaps operate, speed brake operates. It has a retractable tail hook, a skid back there, has a tail hook underneath.
How much does it weigh?
It weighs 34 pounds dry, carries about 8 pounds of fuel.
About how many flights do you have on it?
This has 9 flights on it.
9 flights?
9 flights on it, yes.
Very good.
And 3 more to go this weekend.
All right, well, thank you very much, Mitch, and good luck.
Take care.
There were 4 of these Husky F-100 jets at Top Gun this year. 1 an expert, 1 a designer, and 2 in the team class. Mitch Weiss had the only one done in a Vietnam War scheme. This is the 2nd Top Gun that he flew in, and he finished in 5th place. Kind of a great looking airplane in the air, isn't it? All of these F-100s look fabulous, but watch this landing by Mitch. This was his very first landing, and he almost nails the center line. He's got Bob Violet calling for him. What a great taxi back. Good job, Mitch. Great job. Here we have Mitch Weiss, 5th place in expert this year. Good job, Mitch, and his first real Top Gun. Congratulations.
Hey, well, thanks for putting up with that, guys. I appreciate it. Brings tears to my eyes watching those things. They were good memories. Well, did we lose everybody during that, Hugh? Hugh, are you still there? I can't hear you, Hugh. What did I do wrong?
Sorry, I had muted my microphone so I didn't interrupt the live stream.
Well, thanks for that. I appreciate it.
And the dog.
I've been sitting here trying to figure out why I can't hear you, and it's your fault.
No, it's all my fault, man.
Yeah.
Told you.
Yeah, I see I'm reading your comments here. Anthony Benson says, I have a 30-year-old helicopter that weighs 45 pounds. I say, it reminds me how far it's come. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I flew those big old helicopters too. I finally settled on electric helicopters, but I do have an 800 that we were trying to use to. There's a video on my channel about the way it's called, the way we used to do it. It was my early attempts at aerial photography using a big RC helicopter. I got to tell you, it was very tough compared to the drones today. It was almost undoable. Required 2 people on a crew, and you had no autopilot. You had no stabilization. Somebody actually had to fly that helicopter carrying.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it was tough, but that's fun. That unfortunately those turbines is a very expensive hobby, and I can't do that anymore. Although I still have a couple of those airplanes, I would rather not take them out and risk them. That just to give you an idea of that F-100 that I built is I sold it to a fellow in England who has a big collection of these things and displays them in a. He's also a big hobby dealer over there who displays them, and I think I got like $24,000 for it. So
holy catfish!
And I had $12,000 invested in building that model.
Wow!
And just to give you the pucker factor, there is no insurance on those things. So not only do you have all that money wrapped up into it, but a year's worth of labor.
Oh yeah.
And I got to tell you, when they crash,
No DJI Care Refresh, man.
No, when those that airplane carried that F-100 carried over a gallon of Jet A fuel, and when those things crash, they explode. It's
oh boy,
it's spectacular. One of the idiots up there at the jet meet in Georgia, damn near burned up half the state of Florida. He crashed his jet in the woods. It was dry and it started burning, and we all carried these pump up water things with us. We all went running out there, and we were lucky enough to get it out because it would have been a disaster. One of those things that, like a drone at an airport, that can ruin an entire hobby, for people. So there are some downsides to those turbines, and the risk of fire when they because you got tremendous heats in there. You got the exhaust temperatures are enormous, and when they crash, we used Kevlar fuel tanks in them. That were pretty tough and designed to and located to try to withstand and not break open in a crash. But the idea was don't crash them. And
we think our LiPo batteries are so dangerous.
Oh God,
you guys are burning jet fuel.
I was very fortunate. I only crashed one jet. And that was actually a mid-air collision with and it was at the Top Gun practice the first year I went down there, and I was flying one of my little sport jets, which is much cheaper and nowhere near as hard to build, called a Kangaroo, and
totally destroyed.
And I'm flying around about 175 miles an hour, and this guy with this World War I biplane comes and turns right in front of me, and I flew right through him. Pieces of balsa wood went everywhere. It was unbelievable, and my airplane kept going, but it was the end of it. It destroyed it.
Did you get it on videotape?
No, it was during practice. And he got they hated the jets. I mean, you talk about a class envy. And it wasn't class because some of these guys that built these, they had a fortune invested in some of these World War II propeller-driven airplanes, but for some reason, because of how spectacular and real they look in flight, no matter what you do to a RC model airplane with a propeller on it, it's never going to have the realism in sound
like
and
a jet.
Speed that the model jets have. Yes. So because of that, they hated us. And it became a warfare kind of thing, like politics, and they would always be lobbying the jets. The jets need to have a handicap. They need to start out 1,000 points behind everybody else because.
It's the same. It's the same in any group of hobbyists, right? There's always cliques and little tiers and stratas of different levels.
And like everything else in life, everything turns into politics eventually. And you put a group of anybody together long enough, some of them are going to start feeling that something is unfair, and they're going to disagree. And the next thing you know, you have a big conflict. And but it was a great hobby. The drones for me, I guess maybe I'm just getting older, but the drones for me are much more relaxing, and you don't worry whenever you pack it up in the car, wondering if
that's the idea with us in our camper drones, right?
If you're going to bring it home. But so why do I have the bug to get into FPV and go fast and I guess
because it's exciting, right? It's adrenaline. I was having a discussion with somebody about that the other day. Our drive as a species is to go out and do things like hunt and kill, because that's how we evolved on the plains of Africa, right? And we still need that rush, or at least some of us do. So you get it by skydiving, by doing FPV, by whatever, right?
I guess we do, and I've obviously, looking back at my life, had to admit to myself that I have that kind of personality. I just I'm a pilot too, and I like to fly, and I like to fly. I like to drive fast, fly fast, and I like to fly the fast model airplanes. And I was out with my son just. I gave him my old my Mavic Pro, original Mavic Pro. My son and I used to fly. My son and I used to fly RC all the time, and I have a.
That's cool.
I have a picture somewhere of when he was 8 years old of him sitting there with a transmitter, flying a trainer, and he became a very accomplished, pretty good RC pilot, and. But he's like me, you do something for a while, and then you say, "Well, been there, done that. What's next?" And he hasn't flown RC for a while. And got involved with the grandkids sports and everything. He lives on the Intercoastal Waterway, and they got a nice boat. And my grandson is becoming a very accomplished water skier and wakeboarder.
Oh, that's cool.
So he wants to do some drone photography of the kid out there on.
Oh, that'd be fun.
So yesterday we met. It was a nice morning or afternoon rather, and we met, and I worked him through his first flight. And of course, flying a thing for him is not the problem. It's the technical aspects of working that Go4 app and everything else that he needs to learn. So he decided right then and there that there's no way I'm doing this with a cell phone. So we run over to Best Buy. And he bought one of these, the new iPads and they got them on sale for like $279 for the 9.7-inch iPad with the A10 processor.
Wow,
$279, and
what a world!
Yeah, so he went and bought one of those, and I gave him an old. I had a tablet mount for the Mavic that I gave him, and he's in business now. So now my son is a drone or two. And
Excellent.
I'm looking forward to. Going out and fly and flying with him, because we with his family, he's tied like most kids. Grandpa it doesn't come first. The family, the wife, the kids, and all that has to come first, and I certainly agree with that. But I am looking forward now to having some drone flying time with my son, and I'll shoot some videos of it, and maybe post something up on.
Yeah, that'll be pretty
online.
cool.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice. He's a good kid, and I'm very lucky to live in such close proximity to him, and be able to get together. Although even it's usually we have lunch usually once a week, and he'll invite me when they haven't been going out of town with the sports. He'll invite me to his house for dinner, and it's very nice. It's nice that you got any family up there where you live, Hugh?
Yeah, I live with my son, and my mother is here sometimes. So yeah, we have a pretty good family. And we actually, when we were living in the States, we had nobody around us, and so we moved back here to Canada about 8 years ago, and all our family's here, like aunts and uncles and nephews and nieces and all that. So yep.
It's
that's
nice.
why we came back. Yeah,
it's nice to have family. Yeah,
most days. Unless you want to get out droning and you've got to go out for dinner and you're like, crap.
God, Hugh,
but that's okay.
We haven't seen how Ken Herron has his razzmatazz that he does.
What's that? His noises?
No, the
soundboard.
The razzmatazz. He does this thing where he plays these bubbles, floating bubbles in the background.
Oh, no.
And they play some very relaxing music. And well, I got my monkey, So let me bring the monkey in for a second here. And
just don't spank the monkey on the live stream, okay? That's all I'm saying.
There he is. So
all I'm saying.
For those of you that haven't met my monkey, we're gonna have a name the monkey deal. I'd like one entry, one person said that it reminded him of Clyde, the orangutan from the old Clint Eastwood movie.
Yeah.
But we got to come up, and then of course somebody else suggested that I name the monkey Kim.
Oh no! Don't do that.
I think it was Roger that suggested that.
Actually. Probably.
Dr. Drone, hello, welcome, my friend. Glad you could stop by. Yeah,
Dr. Durham?
I want to have a name the monkey contest, and in fact, I can probably, let me see if I can do this.
Do you know what my brother and sister-in-law, or my brother-in-law and sister-in-law did? They named their dog my middle name. I'm not going to say what it is, but they didn't know. They forgot, and they named their dog. And now the dog shares my middle name.
Really? And
oh my God!
No, but they didn't. They didn't know.
Well, because yeah, they didn't know. They forgot.
I'll be darned.
My middle name's not something that comes up very often anyway. They named their dog, and it was about 6 months later I finally had the heart to tell them, you realize that is my middle name, don't you? And they were shocked. But by then, what do? You called the dog that for so long. So I get a kick. I go over there now, and they're calling the dog, and I turn my head. What?
I gave you a little company in the shot there, Hugh. You'll see it come around here in a second.
Are you putting that monkey on my head, Mitch?
No, just
what I have to put up with.
Hey, listen, man, if you can't have some fun with this, why bother,
I know. Well, I guess that's my job as the official sidekick on this morning's episode, right?
I wonder if I could put the thing on your shoulder. Let me see if I can. If you sit still,
okay.
If you sit still,
I'll be very serious.
If you be serious, let me see if I can make this work. Nah, it doesn't look natural. It doesn't look natural. Nah.
If that monkey craps on my blue sweater, I'm sending you the dry cleaning bill. That's all I'm saying, Mitch. There's lines we can't cross here, okay?
I get you. Yeah. Let me see. Let me put them back up there on where I had them.
This is a $5 sweater, for God's sakes. I wore my best for this morning's stream, man.
I set them up there on there. Set them up there. Okay.
Not done digging.
The technology. I'm surprised that Roger hasn't stopped in yet. We got Tropic UAS. Hey, Tony, how are you, my man? Good to see you this morning. Good to see you. Yeah, Tony and I were going to go flying last Sunday, but the weather sucked, if you pardon my French. And let me give Anthony Benson a wrench here, and so he doesn't feel left out. Gone digging. Good morning. Good morning, sir. How are you? And Richard and Janet Henderson, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. We've been having a good old time here this morning, and got Hugh, Asgard Studios, as my guest. And Hugh and I have spent most of the live streams I've had. You've been in there helping me get through this, so I appreciate.
My pleasure.
I appreciate that. Mark Centroid is another one that's great to have, but he's unfortunately he actually has a job, unlike some of us.
Us old guys.
Us old guys that don't. And yeah. So we got 15 people in here, which surprises me. I watch it, and I don't know if people are going to get tired of this. I'm going to try to come up with some stuff to make it interesting each time, so it isn't just. There's more. And then there's nothing wrong with having a meeting place, but there's so many meeting places now. God, I followed Gary Foster, and he followed me all over the entire world yesterday. God, one live stream after another. And if you got your, if you have your bell set on the on these YouTube channels, every 2 seconds your thing ding, live stream, okay, I'm right, and then there seems to be a new thing like I'm first. I'm second. I got to the chat before you did. It's seriously, it's just a whole different culture. It absolutely amazes me, and I don't know. I don't know how many guys in this circle. I know there's a lot of crossover, but how many guys in this circle know Bill the Drone Reviewer?
I don't think I do.
See, now Bill the Drone. Thank you, Fly Natural. Bill the Drone Reviewer was my inspiration, and I talked about him on my last week, and showed the video of the Sulphur Springs fly-in, where I actually got the idea that maybe one day this might be something I'd enjoy doing, and he has 6,000 subscribers. Okay, 6,000 subscribers.
It's a good chunk.
He's been at it for a couple of years, I think, or a year and a half. He was one of the guys that gets in. He's one of the guys that gets invited to these DJI events, launch events, and he went up to New York. And he's the sweetest and nice guy. I loved, and he's got a fabulous wife, and I've met him a couple times. One he did this fly-in Tampa, and my daughter lives in Tampa, so I decided to go over there and get a twofer out of it. I see my daughter and fly drones, and then he had a little deal, a little dinner thing at a restaurant in Lakeland, which is only an hour or so from here, and so I said I'll drive over there, and I met him back again, and we talk on the phone occasionally, but he has 6,000 subscribers, and when he does 2 live streams, he does one on Tuesday night, got one tonight called Rotor Talk, and he's been building up his new studio, so he and I have been talking new studio stuff, and he does one on Sunday, and I don't know if he does it, and he tries to keep his streams to a half an hour or so, and they're not really community type things, more of him talking about some of the stuff he's learned, and he seems to know or privy to some inside information from DJI. So when a new firmware comes out or a new software, Bill's usually right there with it. And but the point I'm trying to make, and I'm finally getting to, is that with 6,000 subscribers, he gets 40 people in his live streams. I have 390 subscribers, and I have 21 here right now.
That's some serious engagement you've got, man.
Where Ken Herron has 80,000 subscribers. 80,000. He gets, on an average, 400 in his live streams on Thursday night, which are bellwether events in the drone community. Ken Herron's Thursday night live, for me, is like, you just don't miss it. It's and of course, so many of you see most of the same people in these chat rooms in the events, and when I'm on my computer, it's easy to say hello to everybody because you can just type the first couple of letters of somebody's at so and so, and it pops up, and you hit enter. But a lot of times I'm sitting out on my back porch because I want to smoke a cigar and watch, and I'm stuck trying to type this stuff on that little cell phone keyboard.
Oh, I know. That's annoying, isn't it? It should work on mobile.
God, you can't cut and paste. You can't do anything.
It aggravates me.
And, oh, look who's here. Mark, Centroid Aerial Images. Welcome. Glad that you stopped by. I guess you're working right now. I'm going to have to do something in the evening. I think I'm going to do. At this point, I'm pretty much figuring that this Tuesday morning thing is since this is my second anniversary of my Tuesday morning live stream, that I'm going to do the Tuesday morning thing. I think it's good, and everybody can't get here, but we can, and I want to try to get some stability, and then I want to come up with one other to do at a time when everybody that's working in North America can come in the evening and everything, and that's where the rub comes in, because there's so many live streams. I don't want to get into a competition with somebody that does something like this, but I'll find a time, maybe Thursday or Friday evening, and do one. Set one up too, but one at a time, and I'm still, we're still working the bugs out of it. I think it's, Hugh, I think it's getting, the technical aspect of it is starting to come together. It's getting a little easier, and as long as we get feedback from people that whether the sound is good or the video is good. I think the stream was strong when we first started, when Hugh and I first came on this morning, and I turned it on and said I had a weak stream and it couldn't stream, and I couldn't believe it, and so I had to close the Skype window.
And normally when an old man's talking about his weak stream, anyway, leave that there.
Hey, Leave it there. Leave it there.
Leave it there.
Leave it there. Yeah, that's. I got a lot of things to complain about, but that's not one of them. Oh, is Roger in the house? Canadian Drone Hub. Oh my God, Roger. Roger, we're your opening act today, Roger.
Warming them up.
We're warming up the crowd for you. You got 22 people watching now. You know, that's the hard part here. I got 22 people watching me, and I'm going to shut this thing down so Roger can come on. And it kills me to shut down something that's got an audience, you know. maybe the old adage, you got to leave them wanting more would probably be
like Jerry Seinfeld. He went out at the top, right?
Yeah, he did.
He did it.
He did. But
he's a legend.
But I'm sitting here trying to make sure Dr. Drone is a moderator. Okay, you got a wrench too, Dr. Drone. I'm sorry I haven't kept up with the chat as much as I could, but trying to be the broadcast engineer and the talent at the same time it can be a little overwhelming, and I'm trying to keep it. I want it to appear professional, even though behind the scenes I know that it's a monumental CF, if you know what that means.
Oh, yeah, I know that.
And I think
far from it. We did good this morning.
I think that just learning the buttons, and I've actually practiced it. You know, I've sat here practicing switching scenes and playing the videos and doing all that stuff. So
that's how you get better, though.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess. Let me check.
When I was skydiving, we used to practice on the ground on a dolly, just so that we get all the moves done, you know?
Yeah, I agree. Gone digging, he said you can't just keep a stream up for the sole purpose of just keeping a stream up. You have to have the content. And I feel very strongly about that with YouTube in general. And I said this last week, and I'll say it again. I said the culture of being measured by your sub count is, as opposed to your content, is crap. It's just wrong. I have found recently in meeting some of the new people that I've met, and there is a benefit to going into communities other than your own and engaging with some of the other people in the chat rooms and checking out their channels. I have found some channels where they have very few subscribers, but some amazing content and prolific content. I mean, lots of it. And I think that we have to find that balance somehow. I know for my own little neophyte channel here, I'm trying to read. Mark is saying, did that interview on Saturday and had more people viewing the live testing before the action. Yeah, it's amazing. For my own channel, which is relatively new, when I started out, I had no idea what live streaming even was. I didn't, honest to God, 2-3 months ago, this was all new to me. And I just figured you make a YouTube channel, you post videos, people find you, and eventually, you know, I had never had any thought about building to any kind of a goal or monetizing. And then once you get into it, you see how it works.
I'm trying to become a billionaire by YouTube alone.
Yeah, don't. There's an old saying that says
6-month deadline.
There's an old saying that says, "Don't put your hand on your ass while you wait, because it'll grow there."
Oh.
Yeah. For myself, I think I'm going to try to find a balance. I like doing two different kinds of content. I like doing the how-to gizmo stuff, and those seem to get the most views, like how to build how to build a vlogging rig with a GoPro Hero 7, or you know, the 10 worst things about the Pocket Osmo, or those things. But I would rather go out and fly the drone, get some pretty drone shots, and make a nice, beautiful drone thing with music. And
same here, but people don't want to watch that as much,
and you don't get the views on that. The live streams are just time builders, and it amazes me, just watch hour builders. It amazes me how many people will watch the replay of the
seriously?
live stream.
I didn't think anybody would watch a replay.
My first last Tuesday's live stream, when I went off, it had 50 something views, 60 views, and it's at 100 and something views now. So people,
that's interesting.
People have watched it. They may not sit through the whole hour and a half of the thing, but they've watched it, and it's wonderful. And you know, when you look at your analytics, you see this thing goes like this, and then whoa, just a spike with the time. Watch hours is incredible. So the only way, if you don't have 80,000 subscribers, to build and you'll build watch time by people just watching your 3, 4, 5 minute videos. You have to do it with the live streams. You have to do it with the live streams. And I don't know if Roger's still in the house. I imagine he's getting ready for his stream. He's saying bye. Well, we're going to get out of your way here, Roger, and close this thing down in a couple of minutes, and then probably the whole crew will just move over to you, except for me.
Be funny if there's a handoff.
Because, wouldn't it be great if you could just say,
it would be
select, cool. Shift, hold down the shift, select everybody in the chat room, and
drag them over.
Drag them to an... Now that, my friend, would be some power. That would be some power, because you could go to other people's chat rooms and drag everybody into your
Call
chat
that
room.
the red wrench. We need a red wrench.
Yeah. Oh, well. So, Hugh, listen, buddy, thank you so much. Thank you so much for helping me out this morning, and we're going to try to figure out a way to do some panels. Thank you, everybody, for sticking in with me, because it means a lot to me that you find something about this old guy that you enjoy staying with. And
those videos were awesome, Mitch.
Well, I got loads of that stuff. I have so much really good videos from different RC events and things, and if you guys like that stuff, I could keep you entertained for months. That's one of the things that happens to you when you get old and you've lived a life like I have. You have the memories, and some of those memories are actually recorded. So we can do that. I'd like to at least do some of that stuff in each of these streams. I really want to do the cutting room floor thing, where I find some drone footage that I think is nice and never saw the light of day because I edited most of it away. Do some of that. I really also want to have guests to showcase, and I want to have guests to showcase their stuff, their videos.
That's cool.
Their things, and introduce other people to the world as big as this world of mine is right now. It's not like I'm an influencer or have anything, but I think that I want to do that. If this thing does grow into any size, I want to use it to help other people too, because people have done that for me, and it's a great thing. So with that, I will try to bring up the music. We have music. But I don't like that music. You know what? I gotta have to find my good music here. Hang on a second. Is that what I want? There it is. There it is. Okay. Bring up the music, and with that, we will say goodbye for now.
Hasta luego, amigos.
And as I always, thank you, Hugh, for stopping by with me. And as I always do at the end of every one of my videos, I give everybody the rest of the day off. I tell you to go play with your drones, and just have a great day. Have a great day. So Take care, everybody. We'll see you the next time.
See you
and I'll
guys.
see you all over at Rogers.